Darren Lee here saying, after seeing Maddison performance last night, makes you wonder if he's had his mind elsewhere now and will be leaving Leicester this summer, hoping he will be signing for ourselves. It's interesting because I saw a lot of comments actually saying last night's performance wasn't great, and is he any better than what Newcastle United have?
I saw the exact same comments, and I also saw those comments about Harvey Barnes as well, someone that we were banging the drum for on last week's pod. Funny, isn't it? How all of a sudden players can go from the number one target in the minds of fans to, oh, they're in a relegation battle. I'm not too sure about that. I think still a top player in there. Yes, it's looking like he's all but confirmed that he's going to leave Leicester this summer. After they denied him going last summer.
But Spurs apparently the number one choice.
Yeah, a couple of whispers that he's favouring a move to London. I think you only have to take one look at Spurs this season, and I think you'd be steering well clear of that Mobby for a player. But does that London pull still exist? I don't know. Maybe it's still a couple more years till Newcastle are, firmly beating them teams. I'm not sure.
Sure, the Champions League is the main pull, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you would think so. And as I've said, we're still confident that Newcastle's still very, very keen on James Maddison. And I think you look at everything that's going on at this club, the direction they're going in, be very, very hard to turn down, I think.
Harvey Barnes, I thought, did all right yesterday. I mean, it was a game of little quality, two teams that couldn't defend and weren't really clinical. But I think it goes back to what you were saying there about it's funny, isn't it? He was first choice for the most, and recently a lot of people have said, oh, well, is he any better than what we've had? But it goes back to what you were saying about last week. Let's not kind of forget what Newcastle need to do this summer and in January and then the summer after about improving the squad, because as good as Jacob Murphy, Miguel Almiron have been, and others, they're still going to have to go out and improve the squad, and someone like Maddison coming in will do that.
And we've spoken about this before. The quality of teams that could go down this season, there's some real gems to pick up. And I don't think that just because a player's not necessarily playing bad in a relegation-threatened team, I don't think fans should instantly be turned off the idea of buying them.
And Graham says he's read that Maddison is set on London and Spurs, which he thinks is mad, but they'll pay more money. Now, is that something as well that we have to address this summer in terms of Newcastle's transfer aspirations, that they're not going to break the wage structure? The top earners are on a relatively same amount. We think probably around 120,000, something like that a week. They're not going to go out and just break that this summer because of financial fair play, but also the unity within the dressing room, etc., etc. What are we expecting in terms of spend, really, both in terms of fee and wages? So much, you think?
I think Newcastle have proven though that they can go out and get top class operators without actually breaking the wage structure. They've shown that. I think this season they probably pushed that a little bit further. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a big marquee name that maybe, takes over as the top earner at the club. I think we've spoken about it a lot on this pod. Whenever Declan Rice gets brought up, we can't see them really going out and spending 100 million plus on one player, given the sort of revamp that they need. But I think there's certainly money there to, say to someone, we can offer you the chance to be the top earner if they're good enough.
Does the fact that Eddie Howe has come out in recent weeks and said a lot of these players deserve to be here next season, does that focus the mind of the transfer team at Newcastle and go, well, okay, well, look, Eddie likes this player, he's going to stop, which means the priority maybe shifts, or you're actually just focusing on one or two positions rather than 6 or 7?
Yeah, I think it's decreased the need for how many players they probably need to bring in. I think if you'd have said, let's rewind all the way back to August before they'd been on this amazing run, I think you'd be looking at it and thinking, right, well, in 2 seasons' time, we want a top-class right midfielder, 2 new centre midfielders, another centre-back alongside Botman. Now, do you really need someone to come and replace Share this season? No. Miggy and Murphy still battling for that right midfield spot. Yes, you need a centre midfielder because John Joe Shelby's gone. I think you look at that team now compared with what we did last 12 months ago. It doesn't need near as much work as it probably did. But that's not to say they shouldn't go out and spend, because obviously to stay in the top 4, this team will need investment in it.